The true measure of a man is how he treats someone who can do him absolutely no good. That is a quote by Samuel Johnson.
Welcome to Trina Talk. Trina Talk is a weekly podcast that will inspire and empower women of all ages to strive for the impossible. Your host, Trina L. Martin from TrinaMartin.com, is a motivational speaker, leader, and cyber tech expert. Every week, Trina will share wisdom gained from her life experiences and lessons learned while pursuing her goals to inspire you to achieve the next level in your life. Now, your host, Trina L. Martin.
Hello, welcome to Trina Talk. I am your host, Trina L. Martin, and this is episode 44. The topic of this week's episode is Leadership is about caring and inspiring. My guest this week is Anton Guinea. Anton is an Australian success story. He is energetic, engaging, and successful entrepreneur who can show you how to change your life and your business by implementing strategies that have made him successful. Anton is now an internationally recognized motivational speaker, business consultant, and optimum results coach. He works with individuals and organizations to improve their performance and results. Hi, Anton. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks, Trina. Thanks for having me, girl. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited for you to be here as well. And we have just been having a great pre-show conversation. It's like we're bonding and we're kindred spirits. So you are in Australia and you are a leadership consultant. You have a leadership business, and leadership is one of the pillars, one of the things that I am most passionate about. Tell me about your business and how you do your work.
Yeah, so we work with leaders, Trina, and we help them bring care factor back into leadership, and we do that by helping them focus on people, not process, and we help them build high-performing teams. That's our focus, and we start at the top of the organisation and we work down through the business, and we provide all sorts of programs from coaching and consulting, which is one-on-one, to group sessions where we work with either the leadership team or even the frontline team. So we do training programs and all sorts of good stuff. So have a blast, basically.
Now, I love that because I'm pretty sure, just like you, I've had a lot of not so good leaders. Well, I won't even call them leaders. I call them managers, because there's a difference between leaders and managers.
Bosses.
Exactly. So I'm just curious, what made you decide to do this, to focus on the caring and the people aspect instead of the processes and the bottom line, which so many businesses do?
Oh, that's a great question. So way back when I was a young punk, I was an electrician by trade, and I got blown up in a switchboard. Started a really bad workplace incident and could have been killed. And so I got all my face blown off and hands sort of blown up and stuff. And so I spent a month in the burns unit getting all my skin peeled off, which was interesting stuff. And I sort of used that as a bit of motivation, inspiration for my life to go to the next level and do a little bit more with life. And then as I climbed the all charting businesses and ended up in senior leadership roles, I was like you. I had some I had one really crap boss, like really shitty leader. And, it sort of cured me then of being in the corporate world, because I was so sort of knocked around by that one particular leader that I jumped out of the corporate space, or out of the climbing the ladder of corporate success space, into my own business, because I felt that if climbing the corporate ladder just means that you've got to deal with shit bosses, well, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to go and teach people how to actually do this leadership stuff properly. And, I was lucky enough that I felt that I'd developed some people skills over time, and I wanted to teach people how to be better people persons. So that's where, say, 15 years later, here we are.
You know, I love that your story is kind of similar to mine because I am an officer in the Navy here.
Holy crap, are you really?
I am almost 30 years of service. Can't believe it.
Holy crap, Ollie, you only look about 15 on your photo.
I know everyone says that. But the reason why I wanted to become an officer so badly is exactly what you just said is I got tired of having the bad leaders to be the people that were giving me direction and seeing. And I said, you know what? I want to change it. I want to be better and I want to have impact. And I don't want to do the bad, crappy job that other leaders that I have reported to have done. So that was your driving force.
Oh,
How
yeah.
and how is it received by corporations that you work with?
Oh, really well, really well. Well, most of, well, actually, the vast majority of them are love having it. Well, everyone loves having us. We don't get much negative feedback, and I think people do business with people. They don't do business with businesses, and so I find that I can connect with leaders, and I can connect with team members as well. There's a real skill to this whole rapport thing that we've been hearing about for so many years, and it's still as relevant today as it was when Milton Erickson developed rapport and communication technology and thinking, maybe as part of neuro-linguistic programming speak. And so, I feel like I can sort of connect, given that I've got the trade background, with people at the front line of the business per se. And I guess given that I've run a business now for 15 years, I feel like I can sort of talk just as confidently with the CEO. So I'm sort of lucky enough that I can work at both ends of the business, which is nice. It's a unique skill set, I suppose.
So I'm curious, do you ever go back to the corporations that you originally work with to see what their progress is and if they are continuing to do what you have instructed them to implement, or what is your follow-up?
Yeah, absolutely. We're really, really lucky that most of our clients, Trina, are repeat clients. So it's really cool to be able to, I guess, be invited, because we don't take any of our clients for granted, and we're grateful for every time we get offered an opportunity to support them. Now, because we are repeat service providers for businesses, we're lucky enough we usually get to hang around, actually, and we're sort of there through, most of my clients are 3 or 5 year clients, or 2 at least, and we actually get to see the growth and the development in the leaders that we coach and consult to, and we get to see the growth in the teams and the high performance development that comes, post sort of pre and then post our engagement. So we're lucky enough that we see that the full scale and the full cycle. So we do. We probably don't so much follow up. We're lucky enough that we are there anyway, because businesses like having us around, which is really nice.
That's great. That's really great. So I would take it that you're not just working with executives. Are you working with some of the lower line people, and are you working with some of the employees that may not be in leadership positions, but maybe the company wants to groom them for that? How does that work for you?
Absolutely. So we work with all levels of the business, right down to the frontline people. So, we coach and consult frontline leaders, or we coach and consult with managers and CEOs, basically. So, it just depends on the requirement of the business and what people in the business sort of need and would like us to support them with. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great. What has been your biggest satisfaction with doing that?
Biggest satisfaction. Wow. It's a great question. Biggest satisfaction is obviously seeing businesses grow and develop, and people grow and develop based on the work that we do, the light bulb moments that people have, if you can help them, I suppose, see and feel and experience a way of doing things that they may not have been open to in the past, they may not have been aware of. What's my greatest experience? I don't know if there is one. Actually, yes. So I do Ironman triathlon too.
Mm-hmm.
And I got asked one day by a business to go and do some speaking work in their business because they were on a fit campaign in their business. And I got to go and do public speaking about Ironman triathlon. And my working life was complete. I love that. I know that doesn't seem like a big thing. It's to actually be able to talk, to actually be able to combine passion and purpose and professional space all in one was so cool. So to actually just be able to turn up to a business and tell them what it's like to do an Ironman triathlon or do 4 of them, which I have around Australia, that was probably the highlight of my working career, I reckon, still to this day, and to actually change a few hearts and minds along the way during that tour.
Wow, exactly. Passion and your purpose, that's like the ultimate, just, it's like eating a great batch of ice cream, it's
Something like that.
It's great. So I'm glad you mentioned the speaking, because I did see on your site that you do speaking now. Is that something you just do on your own? Is that part of your business? How do you incorporate that?
Our business has got sort of so many different elements to it, I guess. And as you'll find, Trina, as you keep growing your business, you'll find this, that, one day you'll be asked to speak to a group of people about Ironman triathlon, or in your case, Navy experience. And then the next day they'll get you back to facilitate a team building workshop or a workshop around, how to become great public speakers. So, and then the next day it'll be one of their frontline leaders needs a coaching session, so speaking is just really a part of the work that we do, because it just puts us, I guess, and sometimes the speaking work is like our introduction to our clients. So they'll just get us for a 1-hour gig, and then all of a sudden they'll say, oh, you can do this and you can do that, and well. And so all of a sudden we, end up doing, quite a bit of work for businesses when they realise, how much scope we offer. So,
Absolutely. I totally agree. Now, as you know, with Trina Talk, we do motivation and inspiration. And what I love about other business owners, and especially ones like you who have been sustained for years, people usually see the successful, your thriving part, but they don't know all the hurdles and the obstacles that you had to go through to get to where you are today. Tell me about some of your challenges and how you worked your way through them to get to where you are today.
So how did I work? How do I work through challenges? So plenty of challenges over time, and starting with that, getting blown up in a switchboard at 21. That was probably the biggest life challenge and life hurdle. Every day when you're in business, as you're finding out, I'm sure, every day in business is tough, girl. People say to me, what's your biggest advice about business? I said, don't do it. Because if I knew how hard it was going to be back in the day, I may not have ever gone into business. You sort of go into it with this really naive thinking how easy it's going to be, and that the clients are just going to flock in. And businesses every day you got to get up, and if you don't work, you don't get paid, and if you don't market yourself, you don't get a chance to add value and get clients. So how do I overcome hurdles? I look at the positives. I'm a really positive person, and I don't let stuff get me down. So I keep smiling and keep a positive attitude and just keep rocking. So, yeah, I don't know if there's any real art to it. I think it's just an attitude thing.
I love it. I love it because that's what I say. Mindset is one of those things that if you have the right attitude and the right mindset, you can basically get through anything that you want to, that you put your mind to and that you want to tackle. So
Absolutely.
with when you were in corporate and you said you were an electrician by trade,
Yep.
and then you circled off to be what you are now, owning a business.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there were some scary moments in building that business and leaving the comfort of a corporate job and doing all of this. At any point, was there a point in your journey that you said, you know what, why am I doing this? This is too hard, or do I have what it takes?
Yeah. I don't think I ever got to that. Like I don't think I've ever got to the point, Trina, where I've really questioned. Oh, yeah, no, we have. Yeah, we have. Yeah. So we had I've had major business failures, like we're talking, multi-7-figure business failures, multi-7-figure property failures. So we've sort of been really, really successful, and we've been really, really at the other end of the scale. I don't know which end I want to be at. Gee, I nearly forgot about this tragedy in life too. So we had 100 days. I had 100 days of anxiety. And why was it 100 days? Because I was a serious triathlete and I stopped training one day, and the day that I went back to training was 100 days later. And I went back through the calendar, and I don't know what the significance of that is yet. I will one day. But so I had 100 days where I couldn't focus, couldn't make a decision, had to go to the doctor, and I got a script for some medication, which I never ended up taking, and that was enough to jolt me out of the mindset and the challenge and the struggle that I was in. So, yeah, I had 100 days in my life where I was just rock bottom. Never considered depression or I had suicide or anything like that, but it was a shitty time, girl. That was a really shitty time. How did I get myself out of it? I said, I know enough. I've done enough mindset work to be able. I've talked myself into this. I'm going to talk myself out of it. So that's the way we came back from multi-million-dollar failures.
Wow. And with you saying that you were able to talk yourself out of that low point that you were at, how did you get to that point to know that that's what you needed to do? Because that takes a lot of self-awareness to be able to do that. Instead of just saying, oh my God, this is the end of the world, I don't know what to do. But for you to regroup and say, okay, I'm going to fight my way back to where I need to be. When at any point in your life did you get to that point to know yourself so well that you were able to do that?
I think it was probably in that period where I remember sitting there with the, what's it called, the script in my hand for some anxiety medication, and look, I'd say to people, if you need medication, go get medication. I'm not against medication in any way, shape, or form. It's just that I chose not to, and there was this one day where my wife and my PA were really worried, and they said, Anton, you can't make a decision then. So my PA asked me what account to pay the phone bill from, which she didn't need to. She was just talking to me really just to see if I could function, and I couldn't give her the answer, and she freaked out, and my wife freaked out, and so that was the day where I started to climb out of this sort of anxiety mess that I was in, and I just realised that if I need to take medication to get myself right, with everything that I know about, I suppose, personal development, motivational and inspiration, I said, you know what, I'm selling myself short here. I've got the skills to do this, so I'm ready to go. So, and I did. And it wasn't easy by any stretch, but we got there.
Now, what do you do for your personal development?
Oh, heaps. I'm always away at conferences and seminars and always learning something. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on personal development, as I recommend everyone else should do if you've got the finances. Even if you haven't, there's so many ways to do it free these days, and audio books, and there's so much online learning you can do. The world's knowledge base doubles every 2 or 3 weeks these days, so there's so much out there to learn. And I've regularly. So I wouldn't go 1 or 2 months without a personal development seminar that I go away to and learn something from. So I've just been to one a couple of weeks ago, and my next one's planned for July 20th, which with Kerry, who I've just connected you with. But I'm going to have to pull out of that one because I forgot that it's my wife's 49th and my son's 21st birthday, so I better not miss that.
Oh, no, you better not.
That's right. So, no, always doing something, girl. Audio book, YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's always work to be done. I mean, personal development is a lifelong process. You never stop, at least if you want to keep growing and developing. Yeah. It's something that you always do. And I'm like you. I've spent thousands of dollars going to seminars and workshop books and audio books because I'm always striving for better. You can always improve yourself, and I'm a firm believer of that.
Good on you.
Okay, Anton, we're going to get into the questions.
All right. Rapid fire, girl. Rapid fire. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Who or what motivates you?
Who is successful people and what is their achievements?
Okay. What demotivates you?
Being fat and lazy.
Okay. When was a time that
I feel like sometimes.
Okay. When was a time that something was said or done to hurt you, but it worked for your good?
Oh, good question. First day out of my apprenticeship, I got a job in a mine, and the guy that I turned up, Lindsay Mandy was his name. I'll track him down one day. He said, "You don't deserve to be here. You should never have got this job. And we don't know how you got this job." I went, okay. So I was 21, just been blown up in a switchboard, first job out of my apprenticeship, and the senior guy there told me that he didn't know how or why they employed me. And I've never forgotten that. And that was, I guess, a real motivator to climb the ladder of success in general, not just corporate success.
What is your fear?
Not being good enough, not going fast enough in the triathlon.
Is there a time when you wish you had done something that you didn't?
All of the time. I never feel productive enough. So is there a time that I wish I didn't? Talking to, when I get the chance to talk to celebrities when I'm around different places, I always get photos with them. And if I ever miss an opportunity to connect with them, just because I want to learn from them and find out what sits behind their success, I'm always a bit, shit, I should have gone and spoke to that person. Fear stops us from even having conversations sometimes.
Okay. Is there a time that you wish you had not done something?
Yes, invested in property in a mining town, or we would call it, our town's called a mining town. So we bought a heap of property there and it all halved in price. So that sucked.
Okay. What is your definition of success?
Happiness and contentment and meaningful personal relationships. My greatest achievement in life, have you asked me that yet? What's my greatest achievement?
No, I haven't, but you can go ahead and tell me.
Being married for 25 years, girl.
Wow.
That's my greatest achievement.
Well, we're going to have to talk after we finish this podcast. How do you recharge?
I triathlon. So I train avidly I want to represent our country again in triathlon. So big focus, always training and running. And that's why it sounded a bit callous before when I said being slack and fat. So I'd put on weight easily. So when I'm not in great shape, triathlon's very difficult, whereas at the moment I'm in reasonable shape, so I'm feeling pretty strong and good.
Okay. What are you awesome at?
Oh, gee. I want to say being a good husband, even though I can always improve, and my wife gives me the gift of feedback all the time. God love her. And what am I awesome at? Connecting with other human beings. How's that?
Okay. What legacy do you want to leave?
The leadership is about caring and inspiring more than doing and delivering.
What is one motivational takeaway that you want to leave the listeners with?
It's not what happens to you, it's how you deal with it. And so I've had life-changing physical burns. I've had, not that I'm scarred, but it was life-changing. We've had major business failures. We've had major property collapses, had anxiety for 100 days. So there's been some really shitty stuff that happens. And it's actually not what happens, but it's the same thing could happen to me as happens to you. And we internalize it so differently. And it's how you respond to those tough times in life that determine who you are and who you become as an individual and as a person.
Okay, Anton, tell the listeners how they can connect with you.
Oh, thanks, Trina. www.theguineagroup.com.au, TheGuineagroup.com.au. Jump on there. Jump in for a free consultation, a free consulting session. I just like connecting, or email me at anton@theguineagroup.com.au, or Facebook or LinkedIn. Of course, LinkedIn's probably a good place. I'm always on LinkedIn more than Facebook. And give me a shout out. And even if we just do something like this, I'm always happy to share and talk. And I want to see people grow and develop. And I just love connecting with other human beings and beautiful people like yourself, Trina. So thank you so much for having me on today. You're an amazing individual, and what we should really do is interview you for my podcast, if that's okay. And I'll ask you the same 10 questions, and we'll do the reverse in the next couple of weeks. How's that sound?
I'm up for that.
Great.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for your kind words.
Trina, you are amazing. Thank you so much, and I hope you change the world, girl. Go out there and get them and use all that 30 years of Navy experience to make a massive difference.
Oh, yeah. If you like Trina Talk, please don't forget to go out to Apple Podcasts to rate and review. I want to hear from you. So if you're loving it, please let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any suggestions and how I can better serve you to give you that motivation and inspiration that you need. Also, who else in your life do you know that needs motivation and inspiration? Share the podcast with them as well. I hope you have a great week. And remember, if you change your mindset, you can change your life. Keep striving, because success is a journey, not a destination. You can listen to Trina Talk anytime and anywhere. It's available on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, Spotify, and all other places that you can listen to podcasts. If you like the podcast, please don't forget to go to iTunes to subscribe, rate, review, and share. If you have questions for me or need inspiration on how to go to the next level, tweet me directly at Trina L. Martin.